adventures.
Welcome back, dear viewers. You're still watching Nile Cruise on Nile TV, and from the Grand Egyptian Museum, dear viewers, we bring you today's very exclusive episode of Nile Cruise. Dear viewers, the soft opening of the grand staircase of the Grand Egyptian Museum, the Gem, was held recently. The grand staircase, now available to the public, is a vertically gallery and key pathway in the museum. It leads visitors to different floors via steps and elevators, ending with a panoramic view of the Giza pyramids. The whole space is approximately 6,500 squares and large statues and other objects related to the kingship will impress with their scale and magnificence. These are displayed in different but related themes, including royal image, kings and gods, divan houses, and journey to eternity. And in this context, dear viewers, we are joined to learn more about the museum, and we are delighted to host Mrs. Noaman, which is an exhibition director at the Grand Egyptian Museum. A wonderful day, and it's a pleasure to have you with us in this wonderful place.
Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Mrs. Mona, what makes this museum different from other museums?
Actually, the Grand Egyptian Museum is a significant museum for the Egyptian culture or the ancient Egyptian culture. It's different from other museums as it's a culture hub, introducing different elements and facilities for the visitor. We have different buildings, including the exhibition galleries, and we have also the education center. We have the cinema, we have the conference center and the library, and we have also the conservation center attached to the museum itself. So we have different facilities offered to the visitors and to the scholars and for all people to enjoy the visit inside the museum.
Okay. Why was the Grand Egyptian Museum established?
The Grand Egyptian Museum idea was coming for the different objects and collection from the ancient Egyptian history that was housed inside the storerooms and the different magazines for the archaeological sites and for the museums. And also to introduce the significant collection for King Tutankhamun as a whole collection and to display it all with all of 5,300 objects, not only the ones that was displayed in Tahrir Museum. And also it's having a cultural message for all Egyptians and foreigners to connect between the past, the present and the future. So the museum idea was first established in 2002 and then was generated in 2004 and 2006, and afterwards we have now the soft opening for the museum. We hope it will be like a leading in the cultural society, and we want to preserve and present our cultural collection to all the world.
What does this museum represent to the cultural tourism map in Egypt?
The tourism would be increasing according to the visits of the museum. All people all over the world are waiting now for the grand opening for the museum, so we are hoping that it will influence the tourism in Egypt and also the economic side. And also, as I mentioned, it will be a connection between the national and the international institutions and cultural hubs, as it will be the leading for these cultural institutions. It will also introduce significant visit to the visitor who will come to the Giza Plateau. We have the connection between the museum and the pyramids, so I hope it will give a new entertainment visit for the visitor in Egypt.
It was decided to transfer the treasures of King Tutankhamun from the Egyptian Museum to the Grand Egyptian Museum. What do you think of this decision, and why were those treasures transferred from one museum to another?
Actually, the collection of King Tutankhamun is the most significant collection in the ancient Egyptian history, which attracted a lot of eyes to Egypt history and to people who are amazed about the collection. It wasn't displayed all of it in the Tahrir Museum. It was almost like half of the collection only, like 1,800 objects, while it's more than 5,000 objects. So the museum here offers a proper space for the collection collection, about 7,000 square meter, with a technological way of display and appropriate showcases and display cases, more area and space for the visitor to enjoy the collection, with a storyline that tells the.
How many artifacts do you have here?
We have more than 5,000 in Tutankhamun collection and more than 13,000 in the main galleries.
How many remained in the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir?
A lot. They have many objects in the exhibition and in the storerooms. We didn't transfer the collections of the Tahrir Museum. It's only Tutankhamun collection and a few more objects. But the rest of our collection came from mainly the storerooms and magazines in the historical sites.
The entire Tutankhamun collection come here or be transferred to here, or did any remain at the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir?
No, the entire whole collection. This is the difference between Tahrir Museum and the Grand Egyptian Museum exhibition of Tutankhamun, because we here display all the collection. Yes, exactly.
How did the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb impact our understanding of ancient Egyptian history, and why do you think Tutankhamun's tomb is so well preserved compared to other ancient Egyptian tombs?
Actually, the location of the Tutankhamun tomb helped it to be preserved for all this time, and also it's very famous as the most intact tomb that was discovered. As you know, the golden mask itself is a significant object in our collection and in our artifacts. So I think it shaped the importance of the ancient Egyptian collection, and all the jewelry and the gold that was discovered inside the tomb give another side inside the life and the afterlife of the king, and also how he was living and how he died, and all the equipments and tools that he used, like the chariot and the chests and the beds and other tools, even the funeral tools, they were found completely. So it was a different experience for discovering a full equipped tomb for a king.
What technologies and modern exhibition techniques will be available at the museum?
Actually, the museum offers different types of technology, starting with the website and the mobile apps. And also during the exhibition, the visitor will have different experiences like the VR and augmented reality, and also touch screens and interactive media, also animated movies for the youth and the kids to be entertainment. And now we're having this temporary exhibition about the immersive experience of King Tutankhamun, which diverts the visitor to have an insight inside the life and death of Tutankhamun.
How the Grand Egyptian Museum is designed to offer a whole and complete experience for visitors with its facility.
The different facilities and the commercial area offers different restaurants and rest spaces, and the gift shop also is offering a very unique collection for the visitors to have with them after the visit. And also, as I mentioned before, the conference center, the theater, the cinema, all of this and more than the activities and the workshops that is held inside the museum and inside the education center and the children museum is offering different experience for the visitor to have the full day inside the museum and to get entertained.
Perfect. Would you tell us more about the importance of the accessibility integrated into the museum design?
We believe in having all our facilities and all our services accessible for everyone. So we integrated different elements for the accessibility. First of all, starting with the ramps and with the escalators and the travelators to allow the people with determinations to visit the galleries and to have the full experience. And also during the exhibition, we have tactile tables and models for people to touch and figure out about the stories, and also the braille text is used for accessibility, and also for mobile apps and audio guides to allow the visitor to have the full experience.
The GEM complex is now offering limited tours to test sites' readiness and the visitor experience ahead of the official opening. Would you tell us more about these tours?
Now is a soft opening. We offer different tours actually, some tours for the schools and for students, and some other tours for the families and individual visitors, and also for groups. We offer now the outer area which we are standing now inside, which is the obelisk square, and also the visitor can enjoy the grand atrium and the grand hall and the grand staircase and the immersive experience and the children museum.
Finally, the Great Staircase was opened for visitors. The Great Staircase is considered an introduction to the gem. Would you tell us more, please, about the staircase?
Actually, it's a different way of exhibition. It's having some stairs and platforms that introducing magnificent pieces from the ancient Egyptian history for kings and queens. It goes from the Old Kingdom until the Greek-Roman period, and we have different stories to explore during having this experience. One of them is the royal image and how the king in ancient Egypt was introducing himself with different royal regalia and his position standing or sitting down. And also the second story is about kings and deities and their relation together and how they were introduced as a holy persons to the people. And also we having some architectural elements from temples and tombs to introduce how the kings of Egypt were magnificent and having these huge temples offered to the different gods and goddesses. And at the last step we will find out the eternal journey for the kings and the queens. And in this area we connect the view to the Great Pyramids to allow the visitor to have this vision and connection between the Grand Egyptian Museum and the Pyramids of Giza.
Mrs. Muna Noaman, exhibition director, we thank you very much for your informative knowledge and adding knowledge to us. Thank you very much for being with us in this segment of Nile Cruise.
Thank you so much. Thank you.